Appointment of chairperson. I'll chair today's meeting. Item 2, can I welcome you all to this cabinet meeting of the 12th of May. Can I also specifically welcome Councillor Michael Harvey to his first cabinet meeting. Welcome, Mike. And hand over to, is it Jane or Chloe to do the roll call?
I'll do it, Chair.
Thank you.
We've had apologies from Councillor Clement Williams and Councillor Wingrave. Councillor Harvey. Councillor Harvey?
Jane, sorry, that was Councillor Harvey on the phone to me. He can't get in at the moment. Could you?
Right, I'll ring him in. Okay.
Right, thank you.
Okay. I'm calling him, Chair, so do you want to hold on a minute?
Okay.
There we are, Councillor Harvey's now here.
Okay.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Councillor Doreen Jones.
I'm here, Jane.
Councillor Leanne Jones.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Latham.
Yes, Jane, thank you.
Councillor Lockyer.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Peter Rees.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Peter Richards.
Present, Jane.
Right, and Councillor Rahman.
Jane, I'm just pulling Councillor Rahman in now.
Right. I'll go on to officers in the meantime. Karen Jones.
He's in, Jane.
Thank you. Karen Jones.
Yes, here, Jane.
Howell Jenkins.
Present.
Nicola Pierce.
Present, Jane.
Andrew Thomas.
Present, Jane.
Andrew Jarrett.
Yeah, I'm present, Jane.
Peter Jackson.
Present, Jane.
Dave Griffiths.
Present.
And Karen Furlow.
Present, Jane.
Are there any officers that I've missed out now on the roll call that are participating? Craig Griffiths.
Thank you, Jane.
Sorry, I always do that. Chair, that's it. The roll call is now complete.
Okay, thank you, Jane. Next item on the agenda is Chairpersons Announcements. I don't have any other than to repeat my welcome to Councillor Harvey. He missed it earlier because he wasn't here. Item 4,
Yes,
any
sir.
declarations of interest? I don't see any indicated. Item 5 are the minutes of the previous meetings, which were held on the 8th of March and the 16th of March, and they're on pages 3 to 14. Anybody got any comments on those? Okay, are they for noting, Jane, or do I move them?
No, they're for approval,
Okay,
Chair.
so I move approval of those minutes. Can I have a second,
Move,
please?
Chair. I second.
Thank you. All okay with them? Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, item 6, which is the proposed future funding model for community transport. They're on pages 15 to 46. Is Dave, anything to add? Anything to add to that, Dave?
Nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay, Councillor Richards.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just to say I welcome the report. It's just some of the comments that David and Peter have made during the debate. I acknowledge Dave's comment regarding struggling in urban routes, which we know, and hopefully when we actually get this community thing sorted out, perhaps it'll be shared right across the county borough. Dave, you mentioned yet another review on public transport by Welsh Government.
Chair, thank you. It's ongoing. The transport review in terms of bus and the bus emergency scheme has been going on for some time, but they have 3 work streams that they are reviewing and hopefully will come to completion by the autumn this year, if not by the end of the summer. And that is the whole bus network across Wales. So we will be bringing that information back to Cabinet and to, if it's a joint Cabinet, to SS&E.
Can I come back to you? I welcome that, but I've been hearing this for I don't know how many years, and
yes,
being a local member, I have conversations with Peter and yourself on a regular basis. My concerns that members of the public have to spend 2.5 hours to go to a doctor's appointment because they have to change buses when they go in half a mile. So yeah. I will welcome this, but what I will say, David and Peter, is I don't feel that we're communicating with the public on transport at this moment in time, because it is the biggest single issue as a local member I get with people phoning me up, and I think other members are getting the same concerns. It is difficult for us to answer them because there is no sort of clear pattern here whatsoever. All I can say to them is under review. I've been making that same excuse for 18 months. So I would welcome some kind of communications going out to the public on to let them know where we actually are with our transport system. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Dave, do you want to come back?
No, Councillor Richards is correct. It's been a long, drawn-out process. It is being driven by Welsh Government and Transport for Wales, so I'm not able to be in the driving seat in pushing the delivery of that work. But I'm most certainly it's coming to an end. And the other point I wanted to make, I think when we brought some Cabinet reports previously, there was a point made that we weren't having enough local engagement with members across the county on transport. And members here will know that next week we have 2 full afternoons with 6 workshops with Councillor Harvey to listen to members' concerns locally as well. And that will assist both myself, Peter, and Brendan being able to take those points up further as well within that review. So it's timely in that regard. I don't know, Peter, if you want to add anything further in terms of the progress that you've had with the consultants, because they've done the regional draft network for Southwest.
Peter?
Yeah, Chair, we've had the meetings with them. They've sent out now links for us to go on the systems. There's a few glaring mistakes.
Can hardly hear you, Peter.
Very quiet.
Sorry, I've put it out of the way when the other conversation was going on. There's a few glaring mistakes on there. We have identified your area already as as the bus was withdrawn a couple of years ago. So we have identified the areas where we've lost bus services that we want back in to see, as I said previously, to hopefully have a bus service that is fit for purpose, because at the moment, as you're aware, sort of the private companies are doing what they wanted, and if they're not commercial, they're not running the services. Hopefully with Transport for Wales now, they're almost looking at a franchising model where we'll be saying we've got this much money, but we want these services operated for it. And that's what we're working on with Arabs, the consultants they've employed to look at it. But as David has already said, it's a fair bit of ongoing work here, so if we've got the systems up, I'll be coming out of this meeting and going straight into another meeting and looking at all the shortcomings that they've seemed to have missed when they've done the surveys of the routes that are currently in place and what they're looking at for the future. So we are quite aware of the issues out there.
Okay, thanks, Pete. All right, Peter?
Yep.
Peter Richards, I was directing that one to.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't want to put, I just raising it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Harvey?
Yeah, thanks, Leader. Thanks for the welcome, in case you didn't hear me. I think I hear what Councillor Peter Richards saying, take it on board, and obviously you've got the workshops next week, as Mr. Griffiths has said, and where we start liaising. It's a new portfolio for me, and I welcome the report and the recommendations, and hopefully the new future funding model will lead to improvements right across the borough.
Okay,
thank you, Leader.
Councillor Peter Rees?
Yeah, thank you, Leader, and can I thank you for the comments about the urban areas. And you may be aware, Peter, that South Wales Transport have indicated that because of parking difficulties in my area, they're going to remove services. And I just wondered, it might be an issue for next week's workshop, I agree, but yeah, I just wanted to say it's not just just not a rural problem. It is an urban problem as well.
If I can come back, Chair, yes. Yes, I am aware of the issues they've got on the corner up there. We'll have to try and address something like that. But from my opinion, it's a humble opinion, I think the bus companies have gone for very big buses, whereas if you remember a few years ago, we had smaller buses, and that's already been highlighted to Transport for Wales, that they need the buses that are fit for the areas they're working in, not just to get as many bums on the seat. Sorry, apologies, for getting as many people on the seat. To make it viable for them for the one journey in the morning when the rest of the day they're running half empty or 3/4 empty in some cases.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Doreen Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. Yeah, well, you know my worries about my buses. I've got 2 on now, but the thing is, this document that we're looking at now is purely for the community part of it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not for like Select or. It's for Dancer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dancer is involved, but not the Select or the other commercial buses.
No, it's
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Okay. I don't see any other indications. So we got recommendations on page 19, which go overleaf to page 20. They have taken into consideration the integrated impact assessment. So do I need to go through them, or can I just do it en bloc? Yeah, all okay?
Yeah,
move. Okay, so I move the recommendations.
Second.
Okay, yeah, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next item on the agenda then, item 7, the corporate plan for 2021/23. They're on pages 47 to 138 in your report. Karen, anything to add?
No, Chair, nothing to add to what I said at the start of the item in scrutiny, that this is a position statement, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody got any questions on this document? Again, I don't see any. Got the recommendation on page 51, which again is in 4 parts. Are we all happy to accept this? Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Item 8, the annual governance statement. Pages, pages 139 to 210. This wasn't scrutinised. Any officers with any comments want to make on this?
No, Chair. This report shows the significant amount of work that is carried out to ensure that we've got appropriate governance arrangements in place. It needs the signatory of both yourself and the Chief Executive. Will be forwarded to the Audit Committee and is part of the review carried out by our external auditors to satisfy themselves that the arrangements are as appropriate. And as you can see in the document, there's a significant amount of evidence and work that supports the efforts made by the Council to ensure we have got good arrangements in place. It also includes an improvements schedule that we will be undertaking, not just during this financial year, but probably running into the 22-23 financial year. Nothing else to add, Chair, but happy to take questions.
Thanks, Mr. Jenkins. Any comments or questions from colleagues? I don't see any. So if I take you to the recommendation, which is on page 142, again, there's 3 parts to it. Are we all happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 9, which is the South West Wales Corporate Joint Committees. They're on pages 211 to 228. Obviously, given a fair hearing in the scrutiny committee. Before I open it up, I think it's fair to say, Karen, the views expressed in scrutiny echo and mirror what we've said as well. We had it in CMB and in other meetings as well that we've attended. I concur and agree with everything that was said there. I'll open it up to colleagues. Peter, Councillor Peter Rees.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. You're quite right. I mean, there is this perception that this is reorganisation by the back door. I think that's the phrase that I've used, and I think Doreen has used it as well. And it seems undemocratic in some way, but we are where we are. And I think that we have to agree the recommendations with the addition of Craig's suggestion, and I would propose that, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Doreen?
Yeah, I second that. I second that proposal from Peter. I think what really does get to me when I read, when you go into the depth of reading that, we're struggling, local government are struggling to keep the services going, and yet the government, Welsh Government, and I don't care what colour it is, but the Welsh Government want to find extra money to have a chief executive and all the rest of the trimmings. What are they going to do with it? That's my worry. They'd be taking responsibilities away from the people who are nearest to the residents. It is. I fully support the recommendation and fully support the addendum. That the fourth recommendation. I think it's dreadful. It is a way of doing local government reorganisation by the back door, and no wonder people are getting apathetic and giving up on politics when things like this happen. But there we are. Rant over. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Craig, before I go on to the recommendations, either you or Karen got anything to add at all?
Nothing from me, Chair.
No, I think it is important because of the strength of feeling, Leader, that we bring it back regularly so everybody understands what we're doing. I knew that members didn't see this as a popular policy, but as I said in the meeting, it's too late, unfortunately, now, because it's on the statute book and we've got to try and work with it. So let's see what we can do to try and get the maximum benefit for Neath Talbot and to limit the amount of cost. So I think we just need to make that commitment to keeping it in front of members so it's very clear what direction we're going in with it.
Okay, thanks, Cara.
Problem is, sorry, Leader, the problem is, of course, is that after the recent election, they've strengthened their arm, haven't they? It's, we were really on a loser here, quite frankly, and the Welsh Government has got all the ammunition at the moment. Okay,
thanks, Peter. Craig, could you just repeat what the additional recommendation or paragraph D is going to read?
Indeed, that a letter be forwarded to Welsh Government expressing the points made at the Cabinet Scrutiny meeting of the 12th of May 2021, effectively, was the recommendation I put to the Scrutiny Committee, Leader.
So, could we add views of Cabinet to that, or is that inappropriate?
No, of course, it can be added. It can just reflect the views, obviously, that have been expressed in general. So if you wish to, obviously, the Cabinet scrutiny element have obviously decided that they wish to put that element forward. If you wish to add to a recommendation, that is within your gift, ultimately. But as I said, the same views will be caught in that sense as well.
Okay, because I'm conscious of what's been said in previous meetings. We had a good debate about it in CMB, and if colleagues are happy, I mean, I would be happy that we support what Cabinet Scrutiny have said. None of us, I think, around this table now could argue against what any one of them said. So, although we're going to agree with what's in front of us, there's nothing stopping us saying that we feel strongly against it.
Of course.
So are colleagues happy that we just add the word Cabinet along with Cabinet Scrutiny to the addition that Craig has? Okay, right, I'm getting all thumbs up there. So the recommendations on page 220 then, along with the addition that Craig has laid out to us. Is that okay? All happy with that? Okay, thank you very much. So the next item on the agenda, item 10, which is the rate relief for charities and non-making profit organisations. This is on page 229 to 240. Again, this item wasn't scrutinised. Mr. Jenkins, any additional information for us?
No, Chair, the report says that we've already got a policy in place covering us up to the end of March 2022. The Welsh Government are carrying out reviews of various rate reliefs, etc., as we speak, and that's been ongoing for a little while. And rather than requesting all organisations to reapply for the grants, the proposal is that we extend the current scheme, which is due to end at the end of next March, through to March 2024. We will be able to contact those individual organisations that currently benefit from it and inform them of the extension, and that will be much welcome during this period of COVID, when our staff are still heavily involved in managing processes for businesses and the like. And new organisations who feel that they are able to benefit from the scheme will also have certainty then up to March 2024, should that be approved by Cabinet today.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Jenkins. Peter, is there a hand up?
No, I just wanted to say something at the end, Chair, when you sort of close the meeting, or when you come in to close the meeting.
Okay. So any comments or questions on what Mr. Jenkins has said? Again, I don't see any. Recommendation there is on page 233, which is in effect what Mr. Jenkins has just explained to us, that we extend the deadline until the 31st of March 2024. All okay with that? Okay, thank you very much. Peter, do you want to come in now before I close it, or?
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate Saif on the chairing of the meeting. It wasn't an easy meeting to chair, and I just wanted to congratulate him. I thought he handled it very, very well. So congratulations, Saif.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Well done, Saif. I did send him a text message. Okay, item 11 is urgent items. I don't have any, so that's the end of the agenda as on the papers. So can I thank you all for your attention?